Hello, guys, and welcome to the newest episode of the My IGN Nintendo podcast, also known as the Just Another Castle podcast. I am back after 2 weeks away in Europe. With me today, we've got Matt.
Got my name right so far.
Well, maybe I meant to say Mike. I don't know why I'm trying to make myself seem worse. And then we got Mike.
I can't think of anything funny. I'm disappointed.
Sad. And then you've got me, Polisalon, Eli. So today we're going to discuss all sorts of things. You know, we got the news, we got games. So I guess we'll begin with, as always, with what we've been playing. So I really, since I've been gone for so long, didn't really have time to play anything. And even though I took both my 3DS and Vita to Europe with me, I didn't really play either one. So I did play The Last of Us Left Behind DLC because it was like $5 a few weeks ago on PSN and I decided to download it. So I played that. Matt, you played Last of Us, right? And liked it?
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
Alright, because Mike, we all know, hated it. So the DLC, it was kind of interesting. I have mixed feelings about it because I thought it was good for what it was. I totally don't think it's worth $15 or $20 or whatever the full price is because it's really short. It's probably like an hour and a half or 2 hours long. Yeah. But for $5, it's totally worth it. It's cool. It was kind of predictable. Like the story was leading a certain way and it just ended up going that way. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. It's just, it kind of fulfilled your expectations as opposed to The Last of Us where it kind of, like, you know, I kind of hated The Last of Us ending at the beginning, but I've grown to kind of like it because it kind of said screw you to me because really my opinion doesn't matter. What matters is the opinion of the creators. So...
That's a terrible way to think of a game. But your opinion does matter. Otherwise you wouldn't get the game. You know what I'm saying?
Well... But this DLC is pretty cool. The story is pretty cool. And there's not very much combat. It's mostly actually just like adventuring. And then there's maybe...
So what do you actually do then in the DLC?
So it's kind of like... So there's... The story actually takes place in the middle of The Last of Us when she's going to help Joel get first aid kit or something one of the times. Mm-hmm. And then while she's going to find this first aid kit, she's having flashbacks. Or this, I'm talking about Ellie because you're playing as Ellie. Yeah. You get flashbacks to a time before this where she was with her friend. Forgot what her friend's name is, but she's just like going through this mall with her friend because she came back to this mall with Joel and she's just like having flashbacks while she's exploring. And so I think it's cool because, you know, it's really reflecting like how she comes into a mall and she doesn't really know what any of this is, and how she reacts to it, Ellie and her friend. And it kind of just skips back and forth. There'll be like, you know, like 15 minutes in the present and then 15 minutes in a flashback. And yeah, there's maybe like 3 combat sequences altogether that are pretty big, and it was more of like an I guess not even exploration, but adventure game, you know, just getting through. But I enjoyed the DLC. So then I was also at Gamescom, as our listeners might know, and I played a few games there. Only a few on the Nintendo platforms, and it was a pain in the... I was an idiot because at E3, you make appointments to see games, and so that's what I usually do at E3. But then, you know, if you don't get an appointment, you can still go play a game. Like, the lines aren't terrible, you know. So, for example, we had appointments with Nintendo, but even if I didn't have an appointment with Nintendo, I could go stand in the line for 20 minutes. That's what I did with Mario Maker. I stood in line for 20 minutes and I played Mario Maker for 20 minutes. Now, Gamescom doesn't really work that way, because at E3 I literally showed up and I made an appointment for that day or whatever. At Gamescom, everything was booked everywhere, no appointments. You literally probably had to make them like a month in advance. And then I went, so it didn't really work to just walk into Nintendo's press booth. It didn't work. So then I went on their show floor, and, you know, Star Fox had like a 200-minute line. Mario Maker had like a 220-minute line. Every game had a line. Xenoblade was 320 minutes, which is like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Every game had a line.
5 hours and 20 minutes, but who cares about that?
But every game, even smaller games, like I went to I went to EA's booth, for example, and I played Mirror's Edge because luckily every morning there was 1 hour just for press, so there wasn't any line. That's how I played Xenoblade. That's how I played Mirror's Edge, and that's how I played Unravel. Unravel is really cool, by the way. So I went by.
Before you go on, I was gonna say that's how it sounds like how New York Comic Con works because it's open to the public, but they give you 1 hour. If you're press, you could go in an hour before the show floors open up and do
Yeah,
do whatever
the problem was there is a press day the day before, but I missed the press day, which was a huge mistake on my end. Like, terrible. So then, like, even Unravel, which, is a really small EA game, had lines for, like, 2 hours, So it was a mess. They released the numbers in total. 350,000 people came, but each day there were like 250,000 people there. It was legitimate. If you check my Twitter, I have pictures of the crowds. It was a complete mess. And there are a few halls that are just for the trade visitors and media, but most of those, as I said, you need appointments to see. After seeing this, I really hope that E3 does not turn into a public show, because that would be scary. Nobody would get any work done. And it sounds terrible, but if I wanted to actually write about, thank God most of the games that were at Gamescom were at E3, but if they weren't, let's say that Xenoblade wasn't the only new game there and they actually had, like 5 new games there, I wouldn't have been able to cover any of them, But for the games I did get to play, so Mirror's Edge was fun. I played like a 15-minute demo. There were like 3 missions. I never played the first one, so I didn't really know what to expect, but it was fun. Platforming, parkour. Unravel was really, really cool. It's not. I thought it'd be a platformer, but it's not. Do you guys remember Unravel? Did you guys see it during E3?
Yeah, I remember it. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like red thing.
It's like side-scrolling Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's really cute. I really like the puzzle. It's pretty much a puzzle game, and the puzzles are just really ingeniously designed. I really enjoyed it, and the animations are really cute. Like, Yarny is adorable. And so, for example, it started raining and he got all wet and he looked really, really sad. And I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad for Yarny. And then I played, I'm trying to cover Nintendo first and I'll move to Nintendo. The other Nintendo game I played was the Vita, it's from the makers of Guacamelee, so Drinkbox.
Oh, Severed.
Severed, I played Severed. Severed is awesome. It is so cool. It's like nothing I've seen before. It's like all
I've seen of it makes me think of Fruit Ninja because you have to like slice things on the gamepad, but like I don't really know anything. I think you can like explore, right?
So it's hard to describe because it's like so like when you're playing Guacamelee, right, and you come in contact with a certain enemy, there's a certain way you got to defeat it. At the beginning, you can slash them any which way, you can punch them any which way, but once you get to harder enemies, they'll either stomp or they will, you have to jump around them and hit them from behind, just like most games are, right? Mm-hmm. So that's like how it is for this game, but it's a touch screen. So like, for example, there will be, so the beginning, you'll just slash enemies because that's the easiest one, but then you'll get an enemy, for example, which will have spikes, and the spikes will turn on and off and you can only slash when the spikes are off or whatnot. Or like one that will release poison, and I don't really remember 100% because it was only like a 10-minute demo, but it was really interesting. Because it felt like Guacamelee, but with a touch screen, and not just Guacamelee, but pretty much any sort of like platforming Metroidvania sort of game. because you'd have to figure out these enemies, and it's just instead of using buttons to fight, you're slashing around and trying to hit their weak spots.
You know what it looks like to me? It looks kind of like Etrian Odyssey, where you can, like a first-person perspective, and you move forward into like another block, like a room section, and then you can move to like another one, and etc.
So it looks like Etrian Odyssey, but it doesn't play like Etrian Odyssey. It's not an RPG; it's an action game.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
But it's very hard to describe. I think that you just need to like try it out. But I really enjoyed it. When the demo was over, I'm like, really? That's it? But moving on to Nintendo, I played Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is the first public appearance it's had. And I mean, it's just more Xenoblade, you know? There's giant fields, there are enemies ranging from like 20 to 80 to 90, you know? You got giant monsters alongside smaller, faster ones. I only got to play 20 minutes of that one too, so I can't really, I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. But it felt a lot like Xenoblade did. First of all, I don't think the game looks very good, like graphically.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a Wii U game, but since they're trying to go for like a realistic look, it just doesn't look very good, you know?
Yeah.
Compared to a PS4 or Xbox One. From far away, it looks okay, but once you get close up, you see like the muddy and gross textures and stuff.
So early PS3, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge issue, but it definitely looks like it's an older game from visual standpoint. And then the other thing that really, really bugged me was the jump. Did you guys both play Xenoblade?
No.
Yeah.
You did. Mike, do you remember in Xenoblade, when you jump, the jump would be really floaty?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I loved it too. I really liked it. I don't know why, but I like the fact that it'd be floaty. You can get across a large distance by jumping. They took away the floatiness. It's like a weight. Like you jump up and you come right down. Which felt super.
That was like my favorite part of just running and just jumping for no reason, just going. Just like any game that has a random floaty jump thing, that's how I travel. I don't walk or run anywhere.
Same here. It was such a weird thing to write as a complaint in my preview because I felt like I was just nitpicking. But to be completely honest, that was like my biggest problem with the game. It's like I just want to jump far.
Dude, that is a legitimate complaint. You're talking to the right person about that. Like, there's so many things that I think Xenoblade is a bit overrated, but they got the jump mechanic completely right. All right, so I mean that's all I got to say.
Yeah. Let's see. I
looked at a picture from Gamescom. You can't fit another person in between.
Seriously,
there's people like shoulder to shoulder to each other.
Yeah, I took that from the top of an escalator, and it's just like looking down, and it's just people and people and people. Let me just say though, one thing that really surprised me about Gamescom is there were a lot of girls that were like very good looking, which
you're in Europe.
Well, yeah, I mean those. Okay, I don't know what sort of judgments to make or anything, but those chicks were like seriously. Like they took care of themselves, and not to say that American girls don't, because a lot of American girls do, but it was like 90% of the girls I saw there were gorgeous, and I was at a nerd convention,
Yeah, it's sad when I went to like a small convention con probably like Hamilton. There were better looking women than any women I've seen like in my own town, because my own town is just basically for middle-aged people. It's terrible.
It's funny.
So, I mean, and I don't even, if I had a choice to go to Gamescom again, and as like not a part of the press, I wouldn't go because I can't imagine how that's fun. Although, to be completely fair, maybe if I was there with a few friends, and I was standing in line, like in an amusement park with friends just chatting, it probably wouldn't be so bad. And I did meet with, if anyone knows Nintendan, I did meet up with him, and we went to dinner, and it was cool beans. What else did I play? Oh, on the Nintendo, I played a few indies. I played Runbow. Runbow is so good as well. You guys see the stuff on Runbow, like the platformer?
Yeah, I've played it a little event at my school with like a bunch of people.
That's not
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
elephant, right?
Because they're in Toronto, so you saw them. What'd
Yeah.
you say, Mike?
I have no idea what this is. It's not the game with the elephant from Game Freak, right? That's what
No,
it
No,
sounds.
no, that's
Okay.
Temple of the Badass Elephant. No, no, no. So this is Rumbo is a game. It's like up to 9 player at a time party game, but it's like a platforming game.
I
So
send you a link so you can watch it.
yeah, you should, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just pull up a link or something, and it's a really fun game. So we made an appointment. So the developers I was talking to, they're like, "Hey, do you want to make an appointment?" I'm like, "Sure." And like, "What time?" And I'm like, "Well, I'll just take 1 to 1:30." And it turns out Dan had an appointment from 12:30 to 1. So we're like, "Hey, let's just combine our appointments, and we'll have an hour to play Rumbo." And so we get to our appointment, and the Nintendo guy lets us in because it was in the Nintendo booth. He lets us in, and he's like, "How long are you guys going to be here?" And the guy's like, and the developer's like, "Well, we have this place reserved for a whole hour, but we're probably not even going to use it, so don't worry about it." We ended up playing Rumbo for until we got kicked out for an hour and a half.
Oh my
Time
gosh.
just flew by. It was so fun, and it was Dan's game of the show. It was probably one of my favorite games of the show as well, if not my favorite. It's so fun, and there's so much there. And while I was talking to the developers, the part that I thought was really cool is whenever I'd ask them about a feature, they'd be like, "Well, players asked for this, so we put it in." So, for example, like it's mainly a multiplayer game, but it can be played single player. There's a whole single player mode. Like, well, we heard fans didn't just want a multiplayer mode, so we put a single player. And the single player mode is like really good, like large. There's a lot of levels there. It's really fun to play. There are hard levels as well, and of course you can play with more players if you want. And I'm like, well, what about if you don't have any friends who want to play co-op? Can you play online? And he's like, well, fans asked for online, so we have online, and we have a party system, and you can play with your friends, and blah blah blah.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
your indie game, which costs $15, is more advanced than half of this crap Nintendo puts out.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, to be
but-
fair, there's like less to worry about with something like this, I think, as far as like connection issues and whatnot.
yeah,
But still,
I mean,
yeah, it's funny. They have more in it than Nintendo's own games
yeah,
that have marketing and all this stuff behind it.
yeah. I mean, we'll see how it turns out. But for me, I thought it was awesome. Time just flew by. Honestly, like I would recommend everyone pick the game up when it launches later this month, even if you know whether you have people to play with or not. Of course, I think it's better if you have people locally to play with, but it's up to 9 players. But if not, the online mode or even the single player mode, it's just super fun. The idea is brilliant.
I'm surprised they have so many indie characters in it because they had like one trailer. I'm like, okay, cool. So they talked to a bunch of people, and then they had like another, either a second trailer or maybe a third trailer with like more. I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah,
They
I think they've
basically
got more than
got everyone.
I think they've got more than 15 guest characters or something like that.
Yes.
They also have achievements, and I'm like, man, and every achievement unlocks a character, and
Oh,
the
cool.
achievements are super fun too. There's actually like a reward for getting an achievement, and the game is really well written. At the end of every round, it'll give you like a funny title based off of how you performed. And it'll whenever you die, it has like a sarcastic comment there to make fun of you. Like if you die, it'll be like, man, I thought it would be like, man, I don't even remember, but it'd be hilarious. It would just give you shit whenever you died, in a really funny way. The music is great. I don't even know what else to say for an indie game. I couldn't expect this much, from a 9-person studio.
Yeah. Well, I think that it really helped them when Nintendo pushed them. I think they said that in an interview or something, like the fact that Nintendo was really like publicizing and helping them out, like really had an effect on the game too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's I'm guessing that's why they were able to get so many guest characters, because I think they said they asked Nintendo if they're like, oh hey, could you get us in contact with like these people, because it'd be cool to have guest characters, and then they got them. And I think it just went from there on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yeah, all the indies are kind of really well connected to Nintendo. From what I've been hearing, Nintendo's pretty good at that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably one of the reasons, as you said. Um, let's see. Oh, I guess I'll talk about one more game because I've been speaking for like half an hour. But the last game I wanted to talk about was the game Extreme Exorcism, which is coming to the Wii U. And the name sounds terrible. However, the game is pretty fun to play. There was a demo during E3. Did you download it, Matt? I figured.
What was the game called again?
Extreme Exorcism.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't remember. I think I downloaded like all of them or most of them. But
it was one of those. And it was so the way it works is like there's a round, and it reminded me a little bit of Towerful because there is a competitive mode, but in the single player mode, the way it works is you pick up weapons and then you try to defeat the ghost, and then once you defeat the ghost, you'll go to the second round. And there are two ghosts. One of the ghosts is the one you need to kill, and the second ghost repeats all of your actions from the first round. So, and this continues on. So once you kill the ghost you go to round 3, and so there's one ghost you need to kill, and one ghost repeating what you did from round 1, like the exact movements and attacks, and another ghost repeating everything you did from round 2. It's a really cool concept because for example, if you go crazy using your weapons in the earlier rounds, you're going to be screwed in the later rounds because the ghosts are going to be mimicking your attacks and they can hit you. So the game was super fun to play. I'm not going to dwell anymore on it, but the game is a lot better than the title makes it sound, because it sounds like a stupid budget game, but the game is really fun to play. All right, so sorry for eating up like a third of the podcast there. Matt, what have you been playing?
Mostly Splatoon, honestly.
Really?
I just got into. Well, I don't mean just as in recently, but I mean since I've been playing it, I've just been playing it like not almost every day, but quite often because I'm getting really into it. I'm like level 18 now, so I'm still like behind all the level 30s, but no, I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's gotten really good. So, can you tell me a little bit about these new modes? Because I literally have not played Splatoon since June. So, although I put probably 30 or 40 hours in the game, I haven't played it in 2 months, So, what's new about the game now?
So, you played Tower Control, right?
I actually never even played Tower Control.
Okay, you at least played Splat Zones, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. So Tower Control is basically kind of like Capture the Flag, but the flag basically moves. So basically, in the middle of... Oh, let me turn off my Facebook. I think that's me, at least. So in the middle of the map, there's this platform... shoot, I forget what's on it, but I think you have to... Crap, I forget if you have to shoot it or not. Because I forget, because keeps randomizing the modes, which kind of bugs me, because I can't just play what I want. But basically, there's something in the middle of the map. Oh no, it's a floating block. So you get on the floating block, and then it'll start moving to your opponent's base. So if it gets to the end of where it needs to stop, you automatically win the match. If you don't and it just goes back and forth, then whoever got the closest distance wins. But that can get pretty intense because one person might be standing on it trying to shoot the other people, but the other team will try to, shoot you off of the tower and then try to reclaim it and put it back. So that gets kind of nuts. That's probably my favorite mode. Splat Zones is, I don't know, it's okay, but it's not that fun. There's basically 2 different areas in each person's territory that you have to fill with your ink, and then it'll decrease in number until 0, or whoever has the most amount of points or least amount of seconds or whatever wins. That one's eh. And then they just added a new one called Rainmaker, which is pretty much like Tower Control, so basically, but instead of like a tower, there's a weapon. So in the center of the field, there's a weapon covered by a shield, and you have to break the shield. Now, when the shield breaks, it actually explodes in that team's ink. So, let's say my team breaks the shield, it'll explode in my ink, and if the enemy's team was near it, they'll automatically be killed. So you don't want to stand. You want to stand close to it so that you can try to break it open faster to get it. But if you're too close and the other team gets it, you're just going to get everyone killed. But once you do get the gun, it's basically a chargeable bazooka, and you have to move that bazooka to the enemy's territory on like a little pylon stake thing, and then obviously try to avoid all the team members trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
That one I haven't gotten to play too much. I don't know if I like it yet or not, because I wasn't fond of the maps I was playing it on. But, I don't know, we'll have to see if it grows on me. For that.
Yeah. Cool. So, do you think the game is now worth the full purchase?
Oh, definitely.
Because it sounds like when I was there, I already thought, like when they already started adding a few new maps, I already thought it was already worth a purchase. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like they've at least doubled the content, if not more, since I stopped playing.
Yeah, for sure. So when I got it in July and I was playing it, I felt behind. I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up, because at that point they were still like adding more and more. So yeah, at this point you'll be fine if you get it. There's plenty of different stages to play. Some I like, some I don't, of course. But there's 20 levels of weapons, so basically every level that you gain, you'll unlock at least one or two new weapons. So that's kind of cool. And then you can obviously upgrade your equipment, and they upgrade fairly quickly, so you can still switch out other equipment to see if you get certain attributes you like better or not. So there's definitely enough for you to sink your teeth into now.
Have you played in any Splatfests?
I think I only played in one, and that was around the time I pretty much just got it, and I think I only played one or so matches, so I didn't really participate in it. I think you basically just wear a t-shirt.
All right.
I did play Stealth Inc. 2 slightly.
All right. On the Wii U.
Yeah, it was one of the...
That was Humble Bundle, right?
Yeah. So I haven't really gotten to those, because I've been playing, Wonderful 101 first, and then Splatoon, and I probably won't get to them again. But I thought I'd try it for a bit. It's okay. I was hoping it would be an actual stealth game, because I like stealth games like Marker Ninja, but it's more of a slow puzzle game instead. So it's basically red light, green light. So at some point, maybe shadows will move, so you'll have to, move within the shadow, or like I said, some switch will go off and you have to move quickly to get into some area, and then it'll do something else. So it's basically a puzzle game for the most part, which is fine. I just was hoping for something else. That's all.
Yeah, I get it. Alright, well, how about you, Mike? What have you been playing? Smash Bros?
Yeah, I mean, the occasional Smash Bros.
Winning those tourney bucks?
Yeah, I need some quick gas and Taco Bell money, so I'll go to a quick local or whatever. It's odd, but I mean, it's good. It's good pay. It's good pay, But what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I've been playing that, and still playing freaking One Piece Unlimited World Red. I just decided yesterday to bang out mad trophies, so I think I'm only more than halfway there. So I got a few more grindy ones, and I'm like, all right, I'll finish that probably by this week, so I can finally start another PS3 game. Probably another one that I hate, like Tales of Xillia 2, because the first one sucked, but I mean, I gotta play the second one. So. And then, what?
Mike, so if you're looking for an easy platinum, you can do both the Order and Rocket League are super easy.
Yeah, see, I don't have a PS4, but and I'm not about that free ass platinum. I ain't no bitch, alright? I'm not gonna buy Barbie R Us, alright, and get 1 through 4. Be like, yo, look at these plats I got. I'm a man, alright? I get these hard ass. I get games I want, and then I platinum them. I'm not one of those bitches, alright? Again, Elmo Street 22.
I've got 8 platinums, and they're all from super easy games, and 3 of them are
You
from sound shapes.
see? Oh, yeah, I downloaded Sound Shapes, so that might be my next Vita game. I mean, yeah. Other than that, I mean, I was playing some Battletoads on Rare Replay with my friend, and then I like. I'm kind of waiting for like the next few months to really, go over with Yoshi, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, Star Wars and stuff, and Mario Maker. Like, I'm kind of looking more towards that. So hopefully I can bang out some more games a little bit quicker, and then Baba Booey, man.
How do you feel about Rash and Killer Instinct?
I freaking think that's awesome.
Cool.
Like, I'm glad
Yeah.
they did something cool like that.
Yeah.
Like I think. I mean, it's not like I think that's the perfect character also to throw in like that. You can't throw in like Conker or Banjo Kazooie or
Yeah.
Viva Pinata or something. But like, I think that was pretty cool. So I respect that, and he's pretty badass, and his voice is all right. I mean, but he's cool. He's cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right.
Quickly, what do you think about Big Hero 6 and I was gonna say Killer Instinct in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Actually, that was like probably the only thing I think should have been added, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm like, all right, they made the right choice. I mean, I'm still salty about Tangled being in, but I think Big Hero 6 is gonna be awesome. I think that's a cool new world. I mean, they did Tron, but Big Hero 6 is more cartoony, and I think it could fit pretty well.
Yeah, I think it'll work better than putting in like Star Wars or Marvel or Indiana Jones or something.
Yeah, that is dumb. Like, legitimately, like, I'm like, that's just no.
At least Big Hero 6 feels like a Disney movie, right?
Yeah.
Because the others aren't really.
I actually just watched Big Hero 6 for the first time like 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Oh, yeah?
I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I heard some people like it, some think it just like, okay, so.
I don't know. I mean, everyone has their own opinions on things. Like, for example, for me, what was the new movie? Inside Out. Like, for me, Inside Out, everyone loved it. I thought it was, I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was that amazing.
Yeah, me too.
But Big Hero 6 was so good, in my opinion, anyway. So we can move on to some news now. Thank you, Matt, for putting this together. So first of all, for Amiibo, Dr. Mario Amiibo is probably going to be a Target exclusive. There were some numbers released the other day for Target, like how many shipments they're getting of the different Amiibo for Wave 5B, and it looks like the shipments are getting better. It looks like the number of Amiibo they're getting for each one is about as much as Silver Mario. And if you guys are at all in the Amiibo scene, you'd know that Silver Mario really isn't that hard to come by. Like, they're not in every store, but if you wanted to get a Silver Mario, you could find one within the first month. So that's good to hear. And then the shipments for Dr. Mario were like 150,000 or something like that for Target. 100,000 in store and 50,000 online. So that's a lot.
So do you think Dr. Mario is a Target exclusive because the Target logo looks like a stethoscope?
I don't know if that's the reason, but we actually knew that there would be a Target exclusive. A few months ago, there was a memo release because Jigglypuff apparently was like their fastest selling item online ever, the Jigglypuff Amiibo. So they realized, wow. What?
So that's not even the best Amiibo.
Yeah. So I guess they realized Amiibo are going to make money. Well, it's kind of amazing considering we saw the numbers for Jigglypuff at the last launch, and there were like 75,000 of them, and they all sold out in the first day. So that's kind of incredible, you know? Some other stuff here, announcements. Wii Balance Board, Meter, and Wii Fit U is $25 on Nintendo's online store. Now, Matt, you said this is a steal, given that they were $100 at one point.
Yeah.
For me, it's the fact that Nintendo doesn't have a trash can to put these in.
Yeah, no, obviously, because I don't see them making money on it. They're just like, we got to get rid of them. Because they're obviously losing money on it. But it's like, if you were interested in it, there you go.
Yeah. If you've got a Pokemon Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, you should go online right now and download the Shiny Rayquaza. Another thing here, Rodea the Sky Soldier, which is the Wii U, 3DS, and Wii game, has been delayed to October 13th due to technical difficulties. This is really only a delay of like 3 weeks, I think, or something like that.
No,
like
it's November.
What?
It's November. I meant it's November 10th and November 13th. Yeah.
Oh,
because one's North American, one's.
I got you. It was okay. So still like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I don't know about the game. It'll be interesting to see what it actually turns out being, because I really don't know anything about it other than the fact that you're kind of flying through levels. Pandora's Tower has been re-released on the eShop. This makes me wonder, when is Xenoblade going to be on there?
I think it's on the European eShop.
Yeah,
I think they said that during Gamescom.
No, I think it came out on Tuesday. It's a good game. I think people should play that one. In my opinion, all the other two games are better than Xenoblade. So, I mean, like Pandora's Tower, obviously it's not the best one, but Xenoblade is just overrated. It's just not that good. The battle system is such a disappointment. So it's like, man, Xenoblade had a good story, but that's about it, and a good soundtrack. But that doesn't make a game. You know,
I like Xenoblade.
Half the game is the gameplay, and it's only all right.
I actually, so here's a confession. I reviewed Xenoblade Chronicles 3D for Nintendo enthusiasts, but I didn't actually beat the game because they literally gave us a week to review it.
Oh my gosh.
And I need to get up to embargo, and I didn't meet the embargo because there was no way I was gonna review that whole game in a week. But I only got about 50 hours in when I posted my review, and I said I'd finish it later, and I kept putting it off, and I finished Xenoblade completely on my flight to Europe. I was like really close to the end. I was literally in the very last part. There were like 8 bosses in a row, but I was pretty much at the very end part, and I just got so pissed that I couldn't beat the boss that I put it down for several months. And so I'm like, well, I've got a 7-hour flight. I can grind myself up, and then I will beat the game. And I did. The problem is, you know how the 3DS battery life goes. I was on the very, very last boss battle of the game. My 3DS starts blinking.
In space?
Starts blinking the red color or whatever, telling you that you've got like T-minus 30 seconds before it's turning off. Yeah. So I was so stressed out, and then I finally beat the boss, and it looked like my 3DS was about to shut off, and so I skipped all the ending cutscenes so that I would not die, you know.
At least you beat it. Now you can watch the ending cutscenes and not feel ugly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I went ahead and searched them online to watch them.
Luckily for you, so here's my old man ass having to tell you what's up, Eli. So back when I beat Final Fantasy IX, alright, this is like 2001, because the game came out in 99, 2000. Freaking, I beat the final boss, finally. This is a few times, like, I have not beat this boss. Like, it was during, like, Easter break, and I brought my PS1. I was using the PS2 that day, because it's backwards compatibility, which doesn't exist for anything that's not Nintendo anymore. Well, Xbox is bringing it back, but it's not as good. Now, freaking, I finally beat this boss. I'm really hyped, but it's all 3 of my cousins, and, you know, my brother just staying over. And my cousin runs in the room, and she's running around from her other cousin, and she kicks my PlayStation. I'm like, oh, and it freezes during the thing. And during the end scene, I finally get it. I'm like, oh my god, no way. So I'm like, you know what? I beat the boss. I can beat him again. And then, like, you know, obviously when you fight the boss again, he's easy as hell. And you're like, wow, was I stupid all this time? This boss is so much easier. I could beat him with, you know, with freaking half a pinky, alright? So I really beat him again, and now, from now on, that same copy of Final Fantasy IX always freezes at that same spot. I can never advance. I can never watch the final cutscene. And so I had to wait for it, like, it to be recorded on YouTube, so I'd be like, oh, finally, I can watch the ending. And then, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The future.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not buying a new one for that, but I was so upset. Like, I was like, I think I might have cried. I was like 9, so I might have cried. Alright?
Traumatic.
So at least you can watch the ending and you like right away and be like, oh, okay, I'm satisfied. Yo, I hate that ending though. I hate Xenoblade Chronicle ending.
Man, the ending of Xenoblade was weird though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as shitty as The Last of Us, and I'm like, wow, you just made the game. I'm like, the ending makes the game even worse than it should have been. No.
All right.
Yep.
Moving on with this news. Whoa, Dave is coming to the Wii U. That's already been released on the 3DS. So another sequel to A Boy and His Blob is coming. Do we know if this is for a Nintendo platform? I don't think so.
Remember. Let me check the link.
Yeah, we don't really know.
I don't even know who the developer is.
Oh yeah, see, quote, all next generation platforms, which should hopefully include the Wii U, but we don't know. So I would not be too hopeful about that. If I were a betting man, as they say, I don't think it's going to come to the Wii U.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles X is going to be releasing on December 4th, but there will be separate British and American voice acting for the North American version.
I don't think it's separate. I think it's like they'll actually have both actors in one game. Like a mix of them. Yeah. So I don't think there's going to be a British version and then an American version. I think it's like they'll have British and American actors in one.
Oh, it's going to be like Xenoblade Chronicles, where it's like, hey.
That's so weird. No, in Xenoblade Chronicles, they were all British.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to... Isn't that what it's going to be like? Or
No, British and Americans are going to be mixed.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Mixing these
literally
people.
Who cares? They're both speaking English anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just weird. It's going to take me out of the experience.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, whoa. What is this?
Are we in London or New York? Come on.
You're going to
make
get
up your mind.
Saying, like, yo, man, get in that freaking robot. And he's going to be like, okay, mate, or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Cheerio.
Cheerio. Hey, man, yo, shoot down that guy on my flank, alright?
I'm going to pop a cap in your ass.
Yeah, and then the other guy's like, ooh, my. Oh, my.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Some other stuff here. Super Mario Maker details. So, it's going to take 9 days to unlock all the content in this game. You've got to play for like a certain amount of time. I think it's like 5 minutes a day or something, and then you unlock something. Like new features, which is annoying. Like, why can't we have that all at the beginning? Like, I mean, on one hand, I get it. Nintendo wants to make a progression system for its game. You know, you can't just do it all in one day. But on the other hand, I'm there to, like, I mean, honestly, I'm not there to make levels. I'm there to play other people's levels. But there are people there specifically for the purpose of creating their own levels. It's just dumb. Like, I don't think it's a huge deal, but it's dumb that they have to wait 9 days to actually make a level that they want to make.
Yeah, I think it's not as big as a deal as people make it out to be. I think their reasoning is if you just put, here's every single piece, it'll be too intimidating, and people will be less inclined to make levels, especially good levels if they don't get used to all the things. But if they roll it out like piecemeal, like, okay, this day you have these 5 things, and this day you have these 5 things, it'll get you to be more equipped, or more acquainted with each individual item and learn how to use it like day by day. And then by the time those 9 days are up, it's like, okay, I know how to use all of these items or pieces or whatever, like, not properly, but in a unique way, rather than if you just gave it all at once. It's like, I don't know what to do, there's too much, I'll just throw in like 3 Bowsers and then I'm done. Whereas if you do it slowly, it's like, okay, well now I can make like an intricate level.
But the time gate kind of annoys me. Couldn't, like, you do the same thing, but just wait until someone, like, here's all the materials, create a level, someone creates a level, then be like, alright, now here's the next set of tools, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think some people brought up, like, a better point would be, like, by an hour basis, or by, like, a threshold, like, if you complete one level, or like, if you complete a certain activity, you get, like, the next things.
Yeah.
I think that'd be better.
Yeah, same here. Some other stuff here. I'm gonna skip this Genyo Takeda thing. But pretty much although you did put this in here, that's from our site. Sean from Nintendo Enthusiast. Here, just he was summarizing the history of Genyo Takeda and why he would be suitable as a new Nintendo CEO. And I guess I'll just read these off. Well, whatever, I won't skip it. But a few of the things he did is, number one, he was the guy behind the cart saving for the NES, like that whole feature. Because you can't really save NES games, like actually save NES games naturally, so you gotta do with the battery. But then if you screw up, you lose all your data. But yeah, I actually had a family member. Now, obviously, I was not alive during this time, but I had a family member who lost all of Zelda progress, and it was like very traumatizing to him because someone like unplugged the NES or something like that and just threw the whole thing off. I don't know enough about it. I never actually owned an NES. I know, shameful of me. He was the guy behind the analog stick for the N64, broadband adapter for the GameCube, the Wii Remote, and he shares Iwata's philosophy on a cheaper console with a new innovation. Some other stuff here. So there was a guy from a homebrew guy who on Twitter told people to download Ironfall. Because apparently it would allow people to use homebrew on their 3DSs. And so Nintendo took down this game from the whole 3DS eShop. Now, the funny thing is, just today, or just a few days ago, the same guy tweeted out, alright, whatever, download the YouTube app for the 3DS. And apparently today, I think the Nintendo actually shut down the YouTube app on the 3DS as well. So,
and the YouTube app is free. Ironfall you actually had to pay for, so...
Yeah.
But that probably spiked their sales more than anything else would, to be honest. I don't know if it's like a garbage game or anything. I haven't really played it, but I'm sure because it was related to homebrew stuff, like it got more sales than it would have.
Yeah, like Cubic Ninja.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, didn't
GameStop raised their price for that game. Like after a year or two, it came out because they knew people were buying it for home.
It went up from like $4.99 to like $49.99 or something like that.
It was like, wow. All right, I see you scums. I just want to hack my 3DS, man.
All right, and then there's a rumor here, although comes from the guy from Unseen64, so it's pretty reputable. That Mercury Steam, the team behind Castlevania Lords of Shadow, at one point pitched a Metroid game for Wii U and 3DS, but we don't know if this pitch was denied or accepted. So we don't know if they're actually making this game or not. So,
and it was going to allow you to play as the hunters as well, so that would have been cool.
Yeah, and I think Samus was in it, but also, yeah, as you said.
Yeah, you can play Samus.
Yeah. And then the weird piece of news he put down here is that Japan is getting a Yokai Watch Just Dance game, which will probably... you put Yokai Watch on literally anything in Japan, and it will do amazing. Because they just released, for example, the spin-off title. It was like Yokai Watch Busters, which is like a small mini game, and it sold like 1.5 million units in 2 or 3 weeks. And that's just like a side game, like a spin-off. So anything Yokai Watch touches is gold.
Yeah, this is the second week of weird Just Dance news, because last week was there's an Angry Bird song now in Just Dance.
It's so
you have to look up the dance. It's so stupid. It's not even a dance like after 30 seconds. It's just like them imitating the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I actually have a friend who's really, really good at Just Dance, to the point where he was rated, I think, in the top 50 in the world on the leaderboard for the last one. I don't know.
Wait, 50 people played that game?
Yeah. One little piece of news to add to the homebrew thing. Apparently, if you downloaded the YouTube app, what it does is it allows you to make your 3DS region free. Because I'm just on Twitter right now, and that's what this news article says. So, if you happen to get it, then you can go import games. Congratulations.
Yeah, but there's actually a real, there's like a real card that's out that I'm not gonna say because it's for me. But you can actually download 3DS games like an R4 card for the 3DS. Forgot the exact name. Might be Wonder Card, but not too sure. But yeah, there's actually a hack version of it, but that has nothing to do with the games. Those exploits for those homebrew exploits only allow you to play stupid homebrew shitty games and region free. So it's not really too big of a deal. Which I don't get why Nintendo's like, oh my god, this, because it's like they don't get games; they could just import games. So
maybe it could lead to piracy, because I think that's
well, the piracy already exists. It already exists. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna get on that flow, so then I could be like. I could just get everything without ever paying again, even though I only pay for Mario and Zelda games anyway, or Sonic.
Wow, we're so happy for you, Mike.
Thank. I'm just telling you guys.
So one other piece of news is the MPD charts came out. Splatoon sold like another 70,000 units in July. It's been doing amazing in Japan. It just passed 500,000 digital. Physical units, but I think it's like another 200,000 digital there, plus America sales. So it's probably really close to 2 million, if not at 2 million by now. But apparently the Wii U sold 46,000 units last month in the US, which is complete shit.
Do you know if the Splatoon sales actually increased the Wii U sales?
If what?
If the sales of Splatoon increased sales of the Wii U?
Not really. I think sales for May were like 70,000, so it sold maybe like 10,000 more Wii U's, but not anything notable.
That's it.
So it didn't. Most of the people that bought Splatoon already had a Wii U, you know?
Yeah, I think that's how it'll be.
That's how it always is. I mean, It was the same thing for Mario Kart. It was the same thing for Smash Brothers. And, there was not... Sure, during last May when Mario Kart launched, the Wii U did sell better, but it was not considerably better. 95% of the people that bought Mario Kart 8 already had a Wii U before that May. Yeah. So, it's a shame, but it is what it is. Next year we'll get an X. So I think that wraps up all our news. Is too bad Flea isn't here because he always adds our questions, although we don't even get questions anymore because my IGN is still broken. So I think this is where we'll wrap up our podcast for this week. Thanks everyone for listening. Why don't we go around and plug our stuff as we always do. Matt?
Alright, I am the Manko Viking on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And I somewhat recently put up an Iwata tribute video. So basically, I made a credit sequence of all the credits he's been accredited for. So I screenshot every game where it shows his name, part of the credits, and then they're all moving in the sequence. So I think that's
wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it took a long time. The only time I'll be thankful for Let's Players. Let's just say that. Because 90% of it was on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Alright. And Mike?
Hi guys, I'm Troy Fullbuster on Twitter and Twitch. And then Gaming Night Live, that's going to be Gaming64 on YouTube. So check out Mad Random Mario Party and some random indie games we decided to play this week. Other than that...
Games...
Yeah, it's like this website that gives these random games that people make with Unity. So we just randomly play them. Oh. So I think this one we played, we have to shoot towels on old naked men in the bathroom. yeah. So they're kind of secretly awesomely funny. But I'd say about 72% of the time they're just eh. But then there's some good ones in there. There's some good ones in there.
All right.
Game Jolt. That's it. Got it. GameJolt.com. That's where it is.
All right. As for myself, You can find me on Twitter at Paul Salon, mygen at Paul Salon, although they still need to fix it. What else? Oh, I write for Nintendo Enthusiast. Check out my work there. And our newly launched Xbox Enthusiast. Check that out as well. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Matt, for taking over the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's fun.
Awesome job. And then thank you for recording this. I got a new laptop, which I'm super happy about. Stories from Eli's life. And we'll see
one thing to say before you go, we will have a guest not next week, but the week after.
Ooh.
Yeah, so his name is Eric Bailey, and he's I forget what site he wrote for. I think it was One Up Castle or something. It's like so close to the name of our podcast. It's uncanny. But he was part of this website for like 3 years. He's a Nintendo fan, of course, and it'll be cool to have him on.
Sounds awesome.
So check out for that.
Thanks, Matt, for putting that together.
No problem.
All right, so we'll see you guys next week.
That's it.